Many developmental models such as Hanen and Floortime talk about following the child's lead. But seriously, where is the end goal of this following? Are we achieving something or perhaps learning something in that process? Or is this all meaningless, a chasing after the wind? Stay tuned to find out. Hi, everybody. I'm Naomi, founder of Speech Therapy Adventures, which is a speech therapy private practice in Singapore. I've made a series of videos aimed to help parents who are invested in their kids' developmental journey. In doing so, I hope to help parents navigate the intricacies of parenting a child with additional needs. Through these learning journeys, I hope to incite learning through play and to connect people and to build relationships. I hope your family can emerge stronger as a family unit through these learning adventures. So the topic of this episode is following your child's lead. So why bother? This is because we want to harness your child's natural interest. This natural interest is like the window to their emotional life. Through this window, we can see your child's natural desires. What is naturally enjoyable and pleasurable to him or her? What brings him joy? What are his passions? As parents who really want a close relationship with your child, you wouldn't want to miss this window of opportunity. By following your child's lead and experiencing the world of thoughts, sensation, feelings, and playing together, you form the foundation of meaningful engagement. Joint attention or shared attention, which you might have heard, which basically means that two individuals, basically you and your child in this case, the both of you are looking, feeling, thinking, and paying attention to the same object. This simple act brings a lot of pleasure, connectedness, and joy within a relationship. Following a child's lead makes us parents become sensitive and responsive caregivers. This leads to great relationships, which are incubators for developmental growth, language, and learning. However, this goes against the principle that is ingrained throughout the history of education. Educators think that children have to be taught in order to learn. They just can't allow the child the freedom to do whatever they want. And if that was the case, children would never learn or have the right social etiquette. What's more, we are asking for the educator to follow the child's lead. That's insane. Say this argument was true, then with better access to early childhood education in most developed countries, then surely our 5-year-olds are doing fundamentally more advanced stuff compared to their same age peers in year 1925, right? Well, sadly to say, the fact is that while schools have changed, children haven't. Today's 5-year-olds are not more advanced than their peers in 1925 when assessed. A child today can draw a square at the same age as a child living in 1925, which is, by the way, 4.5, or a triangle, which is, by the way, 5.5, or remember how many pennies he has counted, which is up to 20 at age 6. So that's a bummer. How about on the reading front? On the reading front, research evidence is showing that it is more efficient to teach a child to read at age 7 as compared to age 5, and that any advantage gained by a kid who has learned to read earlier washes out later in childhood. So the really counterintuitive bottom line is that there is a season for everything and a time for every activity. Earlier isn't necessarily better, and likewise, more isn't better. Okay, point taken. We can only teach kids when they are ready. So how about special needs kids? What can we do in order to get them more ready, in order for them to learn through instruction? That's a really good question, by the way. I'm glad you're asking that, but hang on a second. Didn't I just mention that earlier in this video? So let me summarize again in case you have missed it, okay? So following a child's lead leads to better joint attention, leads to stronger, closer relationship, leads to developmental growth and language development and learning. See, that's the roadmap. While that's a nice roadmap that is written out for you, it is not the easiest to follow. So take, for example, I have a child in front of me at this current moment, and the child may be rocking and humming. This is inappropriate and is somewhat something that we should discourage. But yet, whenever we redirect the child's attention to something else, the child keeps returning to that same activity again and again. Let's just take a step back and reflect. Just because we as adults view this activity as uncommunicative and unpurposeful, it doesn't mean that the child shares the same view. On the contrary, the fact that he keeps returning to that same activity tells us that there is something meaningful about it and that the child is deriving some pleasure out of this. Yes, I get you here. This is the part of the argument that doesn't sit well with many parents out there, and you're probably frowning at me. Just let me explain, okay? Our little ones, the ones that we deeply love and adore, are human beings. They have natural tendencies that are a bit different from what we are used to, and most definitely, they are not a set of problems or a set of disorders. They are human beings with real feelings and real desires and real wishes. And maybe they aren't articulate enough to express themselves, tell us what they are doing and what is the meaning behind that activity and how it is giving them pleasure. So instead of launching into an interview of 20 questions, we follow their lead at the entry point because the first goal is to join them in their world, woo them into a relationship with us. We can then build on joint attention while we are in that shared world. And before we know it, your child notices you, the nurturing caregiver that truly understands his or her thoughts, feelings, sensations, and desires. Someone who truly gets him. Imagine what a treasure that is for your child to truly discover. With that said, your child is more happy to enter into our shared world and be part of this world with us. They will enter with friendly looks, friendly glances, warm smiles. And when we get to this point, there is no stopping. Awesome development will continue to blossom as long as they are part of this shared world and in a warm, nurturing relationship that is shared between you, the caregiver, and them. So let's be honest with ourselves. Can we, full-grown adults or parents, respect their special interests, join them in their world? Keep reflecting on this question, and I'll see you in my next episode. In the next episode, we'll be talking about following your child's lead. How is it being done? Please like and subscribe if you have found this video to be of value to you. See you in the next one. Bye.